Is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Triple H podcast Happy Hour Hoops, presented by Trainwreck Sports. Just me tonight, just a Dunny show here, and the way I have to start, guys, is I am so glad I'm not Adam Silver today. What a opening night we had with the Thunder and Rockets kicking it off. Then we had Lakers Warriors last night, an absolute full slate of games. Amazing. Wemby comes out looking like the MVP. Wemby's all anyone can talk about this morning until it wasn't Wemby, until it was the FBI, until it was Cash Patel, until it was Chauncey Billups, until it was Terry Rozier. So pretty amazing shit going on. NBA, where amazing happens. So I guess we nailed that one, NBA. But if you've somehow been living under a rock and have not been tuned into the NBA world today, but are somehow listening to this, Terry Rozier and Coach Chauncey Billups of the Portland Trail Blazers were both arrested this morning for gambling charges. Chauncey Billups related to a more of like a poker ring, which has ties to the mafia. I should get this out ahead, actually. This is all alleged because everyone has been throwing the allegedly word around, so I'm going to use it just as much just so I don't get myself in any sort of trouble. But Chauncey Billups arrested. His was more a poker ring type deal that has ties to the mafia, which is just absolutely insane. Terry Rozier was arrested. We remember that he got looked into by the league last year for a sports gambling scandal. The league stopped their investigation on Rozier. The FBI did not. He was arrested this morning as well at 6 a.m. And then the third was Damon Jones, ex-Cleveland Cavalier and assistant coach for the Cavs as well, which, saying that out loud is pretty funny. Jake's not on the pod with me right now, but Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier, both ex-Celtics, and Damon Jones, an ex-Cavalier. So not the best look for our squads, but we don't claim them. We don't claim any wrongdoings, especially wrongdoings that will get the FBI's attention here at Happy Hour Hoops. But just had to get on here, talk about it. If, people are in the chat want to chime in, I'll answer questions to the best of my ability. But this is just a crazy day in the sport that we love. I mean, I was texting Jake and Steve about it this morning. We were talking all things Wemby. If you guys had been paying attention to our preview shows, I said my pick for MVP was Victor Wembanyama. I put in the bet before the games last night. I was feeling amazing. He went from plus 1,200 down to plus 300 this morning after that performance last night. And all we can talk about now is the FBI, Chauncey Billups, and Terry Rozier. And just the more today goes on, the more stories come out. Jake actually sent me and Steve a video of Gilbert Arenas telling a Damon Jones story about how him, LeBron, and Damon Jones used to gamble all the time together. And, there's people speculating that the Lakers and LeBron James are going to get investigated a little bit. Not for the story that Gil told, but just in general, because the Lakers name was thrown in there with some other teams. I believe Charlotte was another one. The NBA, they kind of had about as run-of-the-mill of a statement as you could have as a league. Let me pull that back up. I had it here. But just an unbelievable day, not only in sports, but specifically the NBA. Yeah, so here we are. We are in the process of reviewing the federal indictments announced today. Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups are being placed on immediate leave from their teams, and we will continue to cooperate with the relevant authorities. We take these allegations with the utmost seriousness, and the integrity of our game remains our top priority. So very PR-ish, very just like, obviously that's what they're going to say. My deal with it is the part where they say, we take these allegations with the utmost seriousness. Well, you guys looked into Terry Rozier last year for this exact thing, and seemingly let it slide because you guys stopped your investigation. He was on the Miami Heat's bench last night. He's still collecting a paycheck from the NBA. Yes, what happened with Michael Porter Jr.'s brother, Jonte Porter? Yeah, he was banned for life, which I think was the move. Maybe there was more damning evidence there, so they didn't turn their back on that. But I mean, how serious do you take these allegations if Rozier essentially walked free until this morning when the FBI still had him on their radar? So there's that. Um, Here, let's see. I had kind of what's next for both Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier. I thought this was interesting because all we're hearing is the same thing, right? From every headline, it's, Chauncey Billups got arrested and Terry Rozier got arrested 6 a.m. Damon Jones is the third person. So yeah, here we have Chauncey Billups was just arraigned in court in downtown Portland, and he will be released from custody this afternoon. He will be required to surrender his passport and cannot engage in any gambling activities, have firearms, or travel except to his upcoming trial in New York. So, obvious to say that we won't see Chauncey on the sideline calling games anytime soon. And speaking of calling games, I mentioned the Portland Trailblazers had a game last night. Chauncey Billups was head coaching a game last night. And in his post-game presser, I forget the actual context of the quote, but he said, "You know me, dog. I just let the chips fall." So like this dude is using not just a gambling cliche, but a poker cliche hours before he is arrested in the heart of an FBI investigation around a poker ring that has mafia ties. Like I didn't even know that was a possibility in 2025 for an NBA coach to somehow have mafia ties, but I guess little naive Dunny from Happy Hour Hoops just had no idea these things were possible. I kind of figured the sports gambling thing happened with players, and we've talked about it on the podcast before. We worry about this as much as we are the people who enjoy sports betting, and no one loves hitting a parlay more than I do, but we can see how it could mess with the integrity of not just the NBA, but all sports leagues. So this was always on the table. It's just crazy for it to come to light like this with such a wild story with the multiple arrests in one day. The NBA acting blindsided, but then Windhorst was on shows today talking about how seemingly the NBA kind of swept this under the rug because of what I was kind of mentioning with Terry Rozier. Like they allowed it to go on. Like the FBI was doing their due diligence. The NBA knew that. They dropped their investigation. Again, Jonte Porter, different story. Not really a big name. Damning evidence. See you later, Jonte Porter. I assume it's see you later now for Terry Rozier, right? I gave you guys kind of the update and the restrictions on Chauncey Billups. This is what I have on Terry Rozier. Terry Rozier to be released on bond after putting up $6 million property in collateral. In Orlando, Terry Rozier will reportedly be released on bond Thursday after putting a $6 million property up for collateral. His attorney also criticized the authorities' decision to make him walk into court handcuffed with his ankles shackled after not letting himself surrender. Rozier was also wearing a Hornets hoodie despite currently playing for the Heat. That's a tough look. I don't know who gets it worse there. Holy stray shots coming in for the Heat, the Hornets, Terry himself, his lawyer. I mean, I can't imagine a worse image if I'm a lawyer than my client coming in a Charlotte Hornets hoodie. That's crazy. The Miami Heat, I have to imagine they knew something was going on here to some degree, and they're seeing this Terry Rozier, who plays for the Miami Heat, showing up in a Charlotte Hornets jersey, and then just Terry himself. That's tough. I mean, got arrested. They came to his door at 6, his hotel room at 6 a.m. Also, kind of hilarious that he's traveling with a old team's hoodie. I don't know. I'm getting too caught up on this Hornets hoodie, but it is a funny storyline that I kind of just glossed over earlier. But that's what's going on in the NBA. I mean, it's tough. It's, there's tons of jokes to come from this, tons of parody, tons of uncertainty. But at the end of the day, it's pretty disappointing, to say the least. Like, no one wants this. This is a nightmare PR situation for the league. After, we got NBC back, it was amazing on Thursday night or on Wednesday night. Last night, I mean, full slate of games. Wemby had 40 and 15. Anthony Edwards put up a 40 ball. We had a lot of moves this offseason. So just like all the new faces, like there was Cooper Flagg played his first game. There was just so much exciting stuff. And for this to be the talk of the town the next day, I mean, it's brutal. And this is just the beginning, right? Like this is very much so just the beginning. And there's just so much this affects. I mean, this would be a 2-hour emergency pod if I really broke down everything. But in the car today, I was just thinking about it. I'm like, it is crazy, because think about like the guys on Portland, and especially the young guys on Portland. Like, what did they do to deserve this? Where, there's rookies on their team. There's young guys who are still trying to prove that they belong to be in this league, like Scoot Henderson. On the Portland Trailblazers, and now they're without a coach, to no fault of their own. A stupid decision or a string of decisions that Chauncey Billups made, and now essentially this whole roster kind of gets punished. I see Thiago Splitter was taking over as the head coach. I want to see if I got that right. I had a crazy busy day, but was trying to keep up with all of this. But like those guys don't deserve that on Portland. They don't deserve to just not have a coach now, but that's what's happening. And yeah, Splitter is the coach that's stepping in. It's crazy. I mean, Terry's, I would imagine, is absolutely gone from the NBA. I just think at this point, even if he's somewhat cleared or gets out of this legally, it's too much of a slippery slope. I think the NBA, much like they did with Jonte Porter, and they probably should have done with Terry the first time, is make an example out of these guys. And of course, innocent until proven guilty. I made the whole thing about saying allegedly just as much as that the talking heads did today. I'm trying to be good about that, but obviously if these guys are guilty, like it should be a no-brainer for Adam Silver in the league. The league can't afford to have these scandals happen every now and then. The betting's not going away. Vegas isn't going away. Parlays aren't going away. So, as effective as the NBA can be in these situations and being corrective and making sure this happens as little as possible going forward, I'm all for them kind of cracking down hard this time, because it probably should have happened a year ago. And now it's just... I mean, I don't have to tell who is ever listening or watching this that the internet's just a crazy place for a story like this to break. Everything is being pulled from the past. There's damning evidence about players who probably never bet or tried to do anything illegal with sports gambling in general. But, someone pulls a tweet from someone saying something about gambling in 2013, and it's a NBA player who played with Terry Rozier. Like, it's just, the internet is having a field day with this, and that doesn't make the NBA's job trying to get to the bottom of this any easier. The Damon Jones stuff is just incredible. I mean, I can't, just try to even fathom that as a basketball fan. If any of this gets leaked back to LeBron, and there's the slightest inkling that there's wrongdoing coming from the LeBron James camp, just think about today on Twitter and everything, and First Take and everything in between, and just imagine if it's not Terry Rozier and it's a guy like LeBron James. And again, I'm not accusing LeBron of anything. I'm just saying, who knows what's going to come out of this. And if it's a bigger name player than Terry Rozier, who really hasn't been super relevant in the last couple of years. Crazy stuff. I did want to spend some time on the actual games that happened yesterday. Obviously, Victor Wembanyama. I mean, you had people like Ryan Russillo questioning this might be the best performance I've ever seen, which, hey, it was up there for me. I'm someone who has to wake up pretty early in the morning compared to most, I would say. And I was fighting myself to stay awake and keep watching that game because it was just unbelievable. I mean, I went into it thinking, okay, here's Cooper Flag, here's Victor Wembanyama. We're about to have a showdown. Cooper, I didn't think played bad. It looked like a rookie the first couple minutes. Wemby did not look like a rookie. This is year 3 for Wemby. Year 2 was cut very short for him. He had 40 points, 15 rebounds, and 3 blocks, and you felt every stat that got put onto that stat sheet because it was crazy. It's like, you have a 7'6" guy hitting and one step back threes on other bigs, reverse dunks that look like, I can't even say that I'm playing on a mini hoop. It just looks like Wemby's playing on a mini hoop when he does a reverse dunk on the baseline and also gets an and one on that. And Steve actually brought this up in our group chat today. Like, what happens when they don't play the Mavericks, who have an incredible front court, by the way, who have Anthony Davis, Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford, PJ Washington? Obviously, he's not the guy that you want to throw at Wemby, but he's no schlub on the defensive end. So, I mean, what happens when the Spurs play my Boston Celtics, and we have Luka Garza, Neemias Queta, and Xavier Tillman to throw at him? Like, what happens when the Wizard, or not the Wizards, the Spurs play a team with lowly bigs? So, I mean, I can't say enough about Wemby. The Spurs are going to be better than anticipated. I was pretty confident this offseason as picking Wemby as my MVP. Obviously, Joker could come out tonight and do Jokic things, and the conversation shifts back that way. It's one game. I'm trying not to get too excited, but Victor Wembanyama, man, the Spurs are going to be so damn fun. Let me just look through some of the other scores from last night. Oh, I mean, I do, I'll address the Celtics game. I actually took more positive than negative away from a Celtics point of view last night. I thought Derek White looked awesome in the second half. I thought Jaylen Brown looks pretty good. Pritchard, the end of the game stuff was tough. Great things from Anthony Simons. I mean, that was just a very bright spot in a game that we lost. Neemias Queta, I know I was kind of saying things at his expense a minute ago regarding Wemby, but he played awesome last night. I mean, he's got to play like that if the Celtics want any chance at sniffing the playoffs this year. But the other side, man, Sixers fans, listen closely, turn the volume all the way up because you won't get much of this season. But damn, the Sixers have a incredible backcourt. I mean, 74 points combined from Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe. VJ Edgecombe, who, I mean, if you were worried and didn't want to bet Rookie of the Year because Cooper Flag was too obvious, I'll tell you who's the favorite to win Rookie of the Year today, and it's VJ Edgecombe. And it might be through the rest of the week because he was setting records last night. He was unstoppable. He was hitting threes. He was catching alley-oops. Smaller in stature, obviously, but he reminded me of a rookie or a young Chicago Bulls Jimmy Butler, but with a better jump shot, which if you guys remember young Jimmy, that was like really one of his only inefficiencies was his jump shot, and VJ Edgecombe has that already. He hit 5 threes last night. He shot 13 threes last night. And I couldn't help but say this to my friends who I was watching the game with and my girlfriend. If I'm the Philadelphia 76ers, you have to think you're probably not contending for a title this year. I am moving on. I mean, also easier said than done, right? Like, the Joel Embiid contract's insane. Everyone shamed the Sixers when they made the deal that it was an overpay and the extension was so unnecessary. So now they've kind of screwed themselves because they're in this spot where I'm sure they want to trade him, but it's that much harder because Joel Embiid had 4 points last night. I don't think he even got to the restricted area of the paint at any point in the game. He took a lot of fadeaways. He only made 1 field goal. He was 1-9. Like, I just think if you're the Sixers, like it should be glaring at this point. Like, you have Maxey, you have Edgecombe. I don't care. I saw one game from Edgecombe. That was enough for me. Unless injury happens here with Edgecombe. But man, like, you got Maxey and Edgecombe. You shouldn't even be worried about Embiid anymore. I think people might think this is a little drastic, but seriously, like, they got to move on from Embiid, man. This is getting worse before it gets better, and he's only getting older. So if you're waiting around for it to get better, I mean, I've been saying this for fucking 6 years as a Celtics fan. The process is dead. There's a new process. Whatever you want to name Maxey and Edgecombe, start putting your time and effort into that instead of waiting for Embiid or holding out hope for these surgeries or whatever. And I'm not saying Embiid can't get back to a version of himself where he helps the team. Like, I think eventually it will be possible to trade Embiid because there's a team out there who Embiid fits their timeline better, who not as much of the workload will be put on him. He can maybe be a second or a third option. I've spent way too long talking about the 76ers, but Edgecombe and Maxey, they got me fired up. That's what I have for Philly after one game, is they should move on from Embiid, and the future is Maxey and Edgecombe. And I feel pretty confident saying that. The Phoenix Suns got a win. 31 points from D-Book. I think Matt Ishbia was tweeting at Bill Simmons yesterday, which is just crazy that an owner of an NBA team got his feelings hurt that much about getting criticized that he took to Twitter or X. The Utah Jazz beat the Clippers. So Treegate, the Treegate team, the Los Angeles Clippers, Kawhi, not great in the season opener. Bradley Beal, also not great. And the Utah Jazz, man. Utah Jazz, who didn't get much from their rookie Ace Bailey at all, I will say. Florida fans and Walter Clayton Jr. sicko fans alike. 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists off the bench for Walter Clayton, man. Just saying. Exciting rookies this year. Real exciting rookies. I mean, you could have just penciled this in. I probably could have closed my eyes and wrote Giannis's box score last night, but 37, 14, and 5 for Giannis in a victory for the Bucks over the Wizards. Giannis loves playing the Wizards. He always beats up on them. Vucevic for the Bulls, they get a victory over the Pistons, which that was a surprise to me, right? The Bulls, like, been in no man's land for like the past like 3-4 years. Detroit, people were pretty high on this year. They lose a game. Grizzlies beat the Pelicans. I mentioned the Celtics-Sixers game. Hawks get beat up by the Raptors. And, I mean, the Happy Hour Hoops guys, me, Jake, and Steve, we were all over the Atlanta Hawks this offseason. Toronto stepped up. Again, trying not to overreact too much, just going through the night. Obviously, Thursday, too. Like, what just a masterclass from OKC and Houston. The first game of the season, we got double overtime. The defending champs win it, but I was encouraged by Houston, but they need a guard. I can't believe they waited on Westbrook and he went to Sacramento, because I didn't think I would say this a year ago, but boy, does that team need Russell Westbrook or someone, just another ball handler, because I was screaming at my TV as someone who had Kevin Durant player prop of over 24.5 points, and Reed Shepherd was waving off. Reed Shepherd, who averaged like 2 minutes a game in the NBA in his rookie year last year. Reed Shepherd was waving off Kevin Durant. I digress, but that was an amazing game. KD looked awesome in a Rockets uniform. It was really cool. And yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys. We will be back next week. We're still figuring out what our scheduling is going to be for the season. You guys will probably see us at least once a week, probably a couple times a week, maybe some more solo pods from me, and give you guys recaps. Hopefully not about FBI and NBA scandals, because I don't really care for that. I don't really care for all this negative attention that the league we love is getting. But here we are. It's happening. It's right in front of us. So unfortunate, but it's just the truth. That will do it, guys. Here, let me check real quick. Yeah, I didn't miss anything here as far as the FBI stuff goes. I mean, I'm still trying to understand what an NBA coach is doing in mafia poker rings. I'm a massive, massive, massive fan of The Sopranos. I have a little Tony Soprano here, and all day the executive games and all the mafioso stuff and FBI is just all I can think of with this Chauncey stuff, and I'm trying to see it from a NBA coach's angle, and it just does not compute. But doesn't have to matter to me because it's happening and it's crazy. We hopefully this is a quick solution, but doesn't seem like it. It seems like it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better, kind of like the Joel Embiid situation in Philly. Anyway, guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, remember to follow us at Happy Hour Hoops 1 on all social. Shout out to Trainwreck Sports. Follow Trainwreck Sports everywhere. Subscribe to the Trainwreck Sports YouTube. And enjoy your Thursday night, guys. Thursday night football. We got more NBA tonight, another big slate tomorrow night. And we'll see what happens with Rozier and Chauncey Billups. Stay locked in with us on X for all updates. Later, guys.